Yo, what's up guys? It's Brit Howell here at Nitro Autolab. Welcome back to the channel. Today is part 3 of the paint booth operation. Today is a good, beautiful day. It's a Monday. It's bright and early at the shop. I came in at 7. I got some good news. The city did approve our permit as of last Wednesday, March 31st. Figured it was time to film part 3. Here we go. It took about 3.5 hours to dismantle and unpack the 2 pallets properly. Now, we had to be careful not to scratch the powder coating. We broke down the pallets. It had metal strapping that was all tech screwed together, so it did take about 3.5 hours to properly break down the pallets. And we put everything we weren't using upstairs out of the way in our storage. So we took the fan, the motor, the filters, the controller, anything, the fire suppression system, anything we weren't using, we took out of the way to create room to assemble the booth. Now, we are gonna mark out the floor. You can see the back panels back there. These are the back wall panels where the exhaust is gonna be. So we tried to lay everything out in a way where we could assemble it as we go and not have to remove things multiple times. So here's the floor pieces. Here's some wall panels. They are numbered like 2 and 3 and stuff. So some have holes for lights and some are solid like this one. There's the drive-in doors. Those are very, very heavy, by the way. There's some intake grates. These pieces are part of the exhaust housing that's going to be mounted to that back wall piece. Here is the 45-degree angle piece that will be above the exhaust grates. That's actually where we're going to stick the Nitro Autolab decal on the inside of the booth. This is kind of obvious where the exhaust fan goes, so that'll be like the plenum of the exhaust. Here is some the side of the booth where the lights go between the ceiling and the sidewalls. Here is the man door. We still have that wrapped. We didn't want the door to open when we're trying to place it. So what do you guys think? Right here we have like the header panel. It's gonna go above the booth doors right there. So when you walk into the shop, the first thing you'll see above the doors is the M-tek Spray Boost logo above the doors. We didn't put these pieces upstairs because they were a little bit heavy, and this exhaust fan is a 30-inch exhaust fan. It is very heavy, so we left this down here. Here is a piece that gets sandwiched between the roof and some exhaust ducting pieces. There's the tippy top up there. It was kind of a big awkward piece. We didn't want to put that upstairs. Now, I've had this kind of planned out for a while, but I do have an intern that's going to be helping me assemble this, as well as my mechanic. And I'm hoping to have a couple friends come through and give me a hand as well. But guys, there is a lot of bolts, so you're gonna need more than just yourself on this one. Here are bags and bolts and nuts, and you can see I've already put some in a cup here, so we can kind of take them and place them where we're working, and then we'll refill the cups as we go. I got wrenches out ready, impact bits. My impact's ready, charged up, ready to go. It came with some tech screws. Of course, there's gonna be more hardware additional needed to actually bolt the booth to the ground. So we'll have to get some floor anchors and actually use a roto hammer and drill into the concrete and anchor this thing square on the ground when we're all said and done. Now, there are some more pieces right here, like the light clips and the handles and stuff like that, and some locks and latches. But we're just gonna put those out of the way for now. They could go upstairs in the storage with the rest of the other parts and pieces, like the lights and stuff. But for now, they're not really in the way. So I'm hoping that Friday, we did a good job on saving us some time on getting prepared to the install. Because guys, it did take some time to get prepared for this install. So please allow yourself some time to actually create a work environment that's gonna be efficient for you guys to install this paint booth. All right guys, so We did print out a few plans to keep around that we can get dirty and stuff, so we can put over there, and anybody that's helping me can reflect to the plans as far as assembly. My last two videos got a lot of response from you guys and people that were looking at the MTFS24 paint booth from M-tek. So I kind of wanted to, I figured I'd kind of go through the whole process. So this is part 3. And when we get towards the end, I'm going to actually go through every expense that it took and required to put this paint booth in from start to finish, and the entire process, like an overview. So when we're all said and done with the paint booth, you guys will know the exact dollar amount required to get the paint booth, because that's not just purchasing the paint booth, guys. There's a lot more to this. So here's the floor plans that were actually submitted to the city as far as for the commercial tenant upgrade permit. So here's the plans that we drew up to show the placement of the paint booth. Here's a copy of the Monarch fire suppression system. Here's the wire transfer information as far as M-tek. This is actually where and how I paid them when I went to their bank. This is how I made a deposit for them to get the paint booth on the build list, and as well as the final payment due before shipping out the paint booth. I already went ahead and bought the booth coating. We got 3M booth coating, and it came about $75.60 a piece. So just over $150 my cost. Now here's a copy of the paid invoice for the commercial tenant improvement permit. As soon as I paid them, it was an automated response to say issued. So the final balance due was $470, and the previous payment was $181. And both those costs that I paid had $23. Let me see here. Yeah, $23.51 service charge. So it actually was about another $50 on top of the $651. So we're about $700 to get the city permit and approved. So here's the building plan check deposit. So I did, when I submitted the plans on the 12th, I made a $181 deposit for them to actually do the work and do the review. And then when they reviewed and approved everything, it was another $470.25 with the $23 service charge as well. So you're about $700 to get a city permit. Now every city is going to be a little bit different, but this is no joke, guys. This is a commercial tenant improvement upgrade, because this is not my building, so I'm a tenant. So I did have to get approval from my landlord. We actually submitted the permit information about a week prior, and then they had to do some work to tally up the costs of what it was going to be required for the check deposit, which we paid on the 12th. So we did actually submit the plans before the 12th, but we made the initial deposit for them to do the review on the 12th, and we didn't get an email for the final balance due until the 31st of March, which I paid immediately. And immediately after paying, we got an email from the city saying the permit was issued. So it actually took just over 3 weeks to issue the permit total. So it's a waiting game. There's nothing you can do to speed it up. You can call and email them as many times as you want, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. So I'm telling you guys my real life experience here. Now, when you do get the permit, you will get an inspection card. Now, we printed this out. The city may come with their own inspection card, but this is a card that we got after the permit was issued, and it will have to get inspected. Now, when you get issued the permit, you get 180 days to complete the work and get the inspection done. And if you don't complete within 180 days, you'd have to actually refile for another permit. Once we get it installed and we're all ready, we will go back to the online portal on the website with the city, and we will click the button that says request an inspection, and they'll send us a date, and they'll come and they'll actually be signing off on the install for the building, the fire suppression, the framing, the mechanical, the electrical, everything to do with the paint booth will get inspected by the city. Now, there's also a fire marshal permit, and that will be an additional cost as well, and an additional inspection. And you cannot install it yourself, guys. You have to use a fire suppression company that's licensed to install it. So there it is, guys. I will give you guys an update as the project goes on, but today we are going to start the install, and I will keep you guys up to date with any problems that we have in installing the actual spray booth, as well as the permitting. And at the very end of the series, I will give an overview and a final cost of everything it took to install this paint booth from start to finish, to the point where we can actually legally and legitly open for business as far as auto body and collision repair and custom painting and stuff. So thanks, guys. See you in the next one.